This is the interview with Mr. Sullivan, principal at Betty F. Williams.
Hello.
Okay, so question one. What made you go into administration?
I was kind of thrust upon me. I was a middle school physical education teacher for 5 years and at Virginia Beach Middle School. And when Corporate Landing Middle School opened, we were a young PE staff, and the principal, Dr. Edith Idson, needed a leader on that team, and she asked me to lead the PE staff, and I did. And a couple of years later, the opportunity to become the activity coordinator, athletic director at the school presented itself, and I applied for that job and got that. And then the leadership roles just kept coming. I became an assistant principal after that at a school with 2 or 3 assistant principals. Then I became an assistant principal by myself, and then I eventually became a principal. So I'm kind of just, I guess, the normal progression for most leaders. You take on small leadership roles to start, and they just seem to grow. If you do a bad job, it kind of stops there, but if you do a good job, they continue to come and come. And I've been very, very fortunate to work with some great leaders, work with some great principals, and I'm just lucky to be the principal at Betty F. Williams Elementary School.
Okay. What are some suggestions for leadership development that you would have for new up-and-coming administrators?
I'll get you a chance to pick the brain of people who do it and do it well. I got the opportunity when I was an assistant principal at Bird Neck Elementary School. At the time was a traditional school, and it was when we had year-round schooling. And SeaTac had a lot of kids opt out of the program, 5 busloads worth of kids. So Bird Neck was one of the biggest elementary schools in the state at the time. And we had 3 assistant principals. And the 2 assistant principals that I worked with had a whole lot more experience than I did. And I got the opportunity to learn from some of the best. And when I went to my assistant principal trainings that we had, I would always kind of scan the room for people who I thought were quality APs who had real good reputations, who everyone said would probably be a next principal someday. I got the chance to pick their brain a little bit and find out, what made them tick, why they were great. You're not going to find out how to do something great unless you talk to someone who's doing it great already, who's already gone down the path before you. So that's what I did.
That's true. Very true. Okay. How do you remain professional and ethical when making decisions during challenging situations?
We've got a whole department, a human resources department, and all kinds of principals that have gone before me that if I feel that I have a situation that I have to ethically do what's right, do what's best for the kids at the school, but know that it's going to either ruffle some feathers or make some people unhappy, I have to have the courage to make the right decision, and the decision that is ethically right and right for all the kids in the school, regardless. Sometimes it's not easy to make those decisions because it hurts feelings of people who may either A, be selfish, or B, not see the whole entire picture that I have to see. But if you do what's right for kids, you never end up on the wrong side. And if you're honest, you never end up on the wrong side.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you remember when you were working towards your administration that things were very overwhelming. What advice about time management, internship activities, and SSLA can you give me?
When I was going for my administrative degree, my wife was smart. She finished her master's program when she was about 6 months pregnant with our first child. I started my master's program about the time that we had just had our 3rd child, and we were busy. I was a middle school activity coordinator and a middle school basketball coach. I was very busy at work. I had a second job bartending. We had 3 small children. Something had to give. I had to give up my part-time job, and really had to use time management to its fullest, not procrastinate. As soon as I got an assignment, do my assignment right away. And as far as doing a good job and coming up with opportunities to learn more, I did internships in the summertime. If there was a summer school opportunity, I would work that summer school opportunity as the person in charge of the summer school. And I've just got some opportunities to be a leader, more so than what I was already doing.
Okay, that's good advice. I will have to have leadership opportunities for next year. How would that look, and how can I prepare myself?
Well, being a special education teacher, you can always be part of these special education committee meetings that we have. We're always looking for some way to get those special education test scores up with the other kids. I just can't look at a special education population of a certain amount of kids and say, well, if I'm lucky, I'll get 50% of those kids to pass a standardized test. I've got to try to find a way to get 75 to 80% to maybe 100% of those kids to pass those tests. And it's not easy because they are the biggest challenge. But if someone wants to take on a leadership role, to find a way to make it so that those kids are as successful in those tests as the regular education kids who take them, I'd be wide open for that. There are also plenty of opportunities. You know, the SCA. You were in the SCA this year, right? You did a fine job with that. There are always opportunities like that. And I know it could be as small as yearbook or SCA, or it could be as big as overseeing the transportation, helping the academic coordinator oversee the tutoring program, helping the school improvement specialist oversee how I disaggregate data and how I package it. It could be a myriad of opportunities.
Okay. Just a couple more questions. Well, one more. You work well with everyone, and
You think so?
lot of.
Okay.
I think you work very well with everyone, and you're very approachable.
Mm-hmm.
I am an enabler, and I struggle sometimes with criticism. What advice can you give me? Because I know there's a lot of issues that administrator faces. What kind of advice
if
could
you're
you
going to
give?
have thick, you better get some thick skin if you're going to be an administrator, because you're going to be questioned on everything you do. You'll be questioned on decisions you make, even by the people who benefit from those decisions. So you just got to have thick skin and believe that in your heart what you're doing is right and make great decisions. You just have to do what's right. And for me, my door's always open. I'm always talking to people. I'm always listening to people. I'm always calling people. I'm always getting advice. I'm always giving advice. I just think that the better you communicate and the better you talk to people, the more successful you're going to be. I'm not sitting in this chair as principal because of my knowledge of subject and my knowledge of instruction. I'm not sitting in this chair because I have a relative who is a high-ranking official. I don't have any relatives in Virginia. I'm not sitting in this chair because of any reason other than the fact that I work well with people. People respect me, and I've earned that respect by working hard. If you work as hard as you can and you're a nice person, everything's going to work out for you. Outwork everybody, or work as hard as everybody, and be as nice as you can be to people. And that usually, I'm very successful when I'm working very hard and I'm being nice to people. When I meet with very little success, it's because of A, I didn't work very hard, or B, I wasn't very nice. So,
Okay.
that's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. I
was a pleasure.
appreciate your time. I know you're very busy.
I am very busy, but it's good. This is time well spent. You're a great kid. Good luck, everybody.